some excuse.
You suck! You suck! You suck!
There's gonna have to be
what
some excuse.
is going on?
It's just a little spammer guy. Well, whatever. I just can't believe you're going to keep defending this shit. I'll add another element to it, okay? I mean, these are fundamental constitutional issues. You can say they're not. They're fundamental constitutional fucking issues. All right? This also involves a 1950 law where the federal government takes your credit card information when you buy cigarettes out of state and sends it covertly to your state government, informing them that you bought cigarettes in another state. Okay? A 1950 law that wasn't intended for personal purchases of cigarettes. Was only intended to persecute distributors, people selling cigarettes, not people buying cigarettes. So an abuse of a federal law. Secondly, they had a tax amnesty program in this state where they said if you don't take the amnesty, you're liable for a 25% fine. Okay, so if you stayed in court, if I didn't give up my court case, I'm subject to a 25% increase in the fucking penalty. Alright, that's just fucking extortion. They're extorting me out of my goddamn fucking rights to go to court. I mean, these are fundamental constitutional fucking issues, and you're just saying, well, they have just so much to do, and they have so many important issues, and blah. No, how can you get more fucking important than that? The right to be in fucking court? And you're saying, well, no, it's okay, judges can't handle all this stuff, it's too much for them. I mean, what a fucking cop-out. That's why this fucking sucks, is because of political shuck hacks like you. You goddamn prick. You're a fucking useless piece of shit. You're defending a goddamn system that fucking goddamn sucks.
Let's go on the let's go on the cigarette tax issue. I mean, I will concede you have a minority-majority rights point on the cigarette use. I'll concede that completely. But the tax on cigarettes still would be constitutional if the expenditure of those tax funds were for services directly related to cigarette smoking. And I'm not talking about public health, but if a state dedicated the revenues from taxes on cigarettes purely for addiction, you would be asked out in court. Asked out.
Well, no, you wouldn't. You still wouldn't be, because they don't do the same thing to alcoholics. Okay, they could tax the alcohol at the same goddamn rate, devote all the fucking money to alcohol reformation or whatever I call it, or to pay the goddamn victims of the accidents or whatever else they could spend the fucking money on. So that's a bullshit argument. The point is they have a way to prevent people from smoking cigarettes. Most people start smoking when they're goddamn kids. They could simply pass a law saying it is illegal to sell fucking tobacco to goddamn fucking minors and make it a real goddamn crime. That would do more to prevent people from acquiring the goddamn addiction than the goddamn taxation. And the reason why they're collecting the goddamn taxes is because it's an easy source of fucking exploitable revenue. And that's fucking it. Alright? And that I could prove in goddamn court. I could prove it from the governor's statements. I could prove it from the fucking statements of the legislature. All they wanted was the fucking money. They didn't give a fuck about kids, and they didn't give a fuck about cigarette smokers.
2 points.
They gave a fuck about balancing their fucking budget.
2 points. You're exactly right on both practical observation. A real enforcement preventative effort would stop the addiction, but that wasn't the question. It's the legal constitutionality of the tax. Number two is you're right. The constitution of the tax is vulnerable to a legitimate point of equity that you have raised on the basis that they're going to tax a minority group, in this case being smokers, for non-related services. But I'll give you an example of a legal tax. You can respond to if you want to, because your beer tax doesn't apply, but gas tax. People pay more on gas tax because they're going to actually get regulated gas pumps. The same thing would be true for cigarette taxes. If you could beat a
But no, one affects the majority and one affects the minority, so it's a goddamn completely different issue. No, it isn't. No, gas taxes affect the goddamn majority, okay? Even regular people will pay those gas taxes in the form of basically a sales tax, because any business that has to buy gas will pass the expense on to the consumer. Alright, so that's basically a sales tax on everybody, not a sales tax on a tiny minority. Alright, and it's a minority which is about. It has to be the only test that because it's a fundamental liberty, cigarette smoking, it's a liberty, okay? The only test there is that there has to be an urgent social requirement to impose this suspension of liberty. Alright, so they have to have a rationale to do that. And what I'm saying is the rationale doesn't exist for cigarette smokers that isn't 10 times stronger for these other majority vices. And that's the fucking argument, is that you you can't discriminate against one vice unless you're going to treat the other vices with the same fucking hammer.
I agree. I would agree. But the legal fix, and again, we're talking about an abstract legal fix placed upon policy, but I'm not saying it wouldn't be right to do so or legal to do so. I'm just saying that would be the outcome. And the outcome would be beer taxes solely dedicated for beer, whatever, associated with drinking and the social impacts, and cigarettes, even away from public health.
You're just denying you're just abusing the fucking subject. The subject is was it constitutional for the legislature to pass the fucking tax? It was not constitutional. They violated our 14th Amendment fucking rights and our, whatever it is, 7th, whatever the other number is. All right? And that's just the fact of the matter, okay? It is not equal protection of the law. It's unequal.
You can tax minorities as long as it's for a dedicated service.
No, as long as you have a reason for the discrimination. You have to justify the discrimination. All right? So, no, the reason has to be urgent. It has to be important, number one, but it also has to be, you have to demonstrate why you're going to treat this group differently than another group. You have to make that distinction. And the only distinction between alcohol and tobacco is the fact of the numbers of people who use it, and that's it.
But that could be rectified, even in a legal, consistent fashion, and still meet the test.
I'm sorry, Lefty. Are you going to justify a minority tax? You're just making rationalization for an unconstitutional tax. Close your fucking mic. Hey, fan third guy, close your fucking mic. God damn it, that was irritating. You just keep making rationalizations. I mean, it's unconstitutional, period. All right, and if it went to a real court that was going to apply the real law, it would be found unconstitutional because it doesn't pass muster on any of those fucking standards that are required for that suspension of a fucking fundamental liberty.
Is it a fundamental liberty to have plastic bags at the grocery store?
No.
Oh, come on.
I mean, look, I'm not going to explain to you fucking 500 years of fucking goddamn tobacco or the 300-year history of it. I'm not going to explain to you it's an addictive substance. I'm not going to explain to you all the fucking special circumstances that make this even more disgusting, okay? We're not talking about the freedom to use Dixie cups, all right? We're talking about something people have been doing for hundreds of fucking years. It is a fundamental fucking liberty.
I mean, okay, I think you should have your day in court. I really do.
I had my day. I had my 3 fucking goddamn days in court. All right, now I went to the federal fucking system, and know what the fucker did? He threw it in the goddamn trash. Before anybody even responded to the goddamn complaint, he threw my goddamn complaint in the fucking garbage. And then I had to go to another federal judge and sue him to get the other federal judge to at least acknowledge I filed the goddamn lawsuit. And what his answer was? You're probably right, but all these fuckers have immunity, so you can't do a goddamn thing about it. That was his fucking answer to me. They're all fucking immune under the 10th Amendment, which doesn't say anything about everybody being fucking immune. Go read the 10th Amendment. Where does it say in there that sovereigns are immune? It doesn't say it anywhere in there.
Well, it's been interpreted that judges can't be sued in the fashion you're suggesting.
No, it's been interpreted that governors can't be sued, cops can't be sued, nothing can be sued anymore except for a fucking municipality. But every other level of government is now fucking immune from being fucking sued for deliberately, willfully, and maliciously violating your constitutional rights because of political hacks like you.
Well, I mean, those same jurisdictions can sue each other. For example, a state government can sue the federal government. But
no, an individual cannot sue them. No, an individual cannot sue them. Sorry, they've made themselves all immune now. The courts made the goddamn sovereigns immune, and now the sovereigns have made the courts immune.
Gary, are you gonna kick out Fuki folks?
Take out some who what?
Take out some. The jerk in the comment section keeps leaving hate speech.
Whatever, you're gotta speak more, less something. Something, I don't know. I don't know what